What is going on, my YouTube family? Sergeant Graybeard at Graybeard Gaming Group. Today is Thursday, October 22nd, and as always, I hope this message finds you healthy and safe. You know, typically I don't do two news videos back to back. We did our State of the Game recap, our version of it, I should say, yesterday, and we're doing another update today because we're still getting a lot of questions that people are really unsure of as they're logging into the game right now. Now make sure if you are new to our channel, you hit that subscribe button. We would love for you to be a part of our gaming family, and if you enjoyed this or found it helpful at all, take a quick second and hit that like button. It really does help us out. Most of you know that there was a patch that they implemented this morning. It has to do with just really the summit and loot, and they were just inundated with complaints over the fact that not only was the loot honestly horrible, but the targeted loot system itself wasn't working properly. You can see here by the notes they fixed an issue where targeted loot drop chance was too low when playing the active directives in the summit. They fixed an issue where loot crates in the summit would only drop one item. Fixed an exploit that allowed agents to farm the final floor, floor 100 of the summit. They also fixed an issue where the bighorn could drop from non-legendary difficulties. And finally, they fixed an issue where the spark chest piece talent would incorrectly activate by weapon damage. And in regards to these patch notes, there are a few things. First off, I like the fact that they were able to fix something so quickly. However, it also makes me wonder, well, why aren't they doing that for other things in the game that we've been talking about for a while? But putting that aside for a second, what I also want to get into in regards to those notes is how quickly they patched the issue with the bighorn, and for so many players, it actually gave them a small window to finally get that item. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think that everyone should have the opportunity to get all of the exotics in the game. I do not believe in locking them behind certain, like the raids, things like that, because for so many people, they'll never have a chance to get that item or weapon. Not only that, but you've shown you can actually put, players on a quest. You're doing it with Ridgeway's Pride right now. You can do that with the Eagle Bearer. You can do that with the Ravenous. You can do that with the Bighorn. Those are what people want to see, and I don't understand why they're not giving that to us. And again, I'm not saying make it easy, and this is just my opinion. Also, let me know what you think below, but I think this would bring so many people back to certain parts of the game or actually get people to replay the summit. It's because they want to get things they don't have as yet. I mean, I also have the same question in regards to why aren't they putting survival in this game when you have such a large portion of a community asking for something and they're saying literally, I will come back to this game if you put this game mode in. I don't know why they're not doing that either. Anyway, my friends, getting back to the quality of loot, I'm going to spend some time over the weekend farming the summit. I'm going to change difficulties, directives, all those things, so hopefully we can really see that improvement they were talking about. The next thing I want to get into has to do with blue screens and delta issues, and I had this issue yesterday where I made it to floor 100, beat the hunters, I'm good to go, and before I could signal for the helicopter, my game deltaed out. Now, what that meant for me was not only when I logged back in did I need to start at floor 1, I also had to get back up to floor 100, signal for the helicopter, exit the game mode that way, because otherwise you cannot start the quest in regards to getting Ridgeway's Pride. And what's funny, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm like, I rarely get blue screens, but I still want to talk about it because a lot of players happen. So, I mean, this happened to me once, and once recently. It's happened to me before, but I could only imagine the frustration when it's happening to you over and over and over again. I mean, over the last day, I've heard from people saying, their PC has never crashed and it's crashing now. I've heard about insane lag time and all of these things that are happening since 11.1 came out. And unfortunately, when these bigger, patches come out, a lot of bugs come with it. And please know that this is not people just complaining about, oh, I'm not getting loot and this and that. This is the actual quality of the game itself. And when it's not functioning, there's nothing more frustrating because, again, you're paying for a service that's, it's not being given to you. And that's where the frustration comes in. Now, I don't have any answers for you on what they're doing to fix it or how they're trying to fix it. They've talked about it in the past. They have not brought it up recently. But what I would love to see is I'd love to see the developers work on this type of issue in the speed and manner in which they do other ones. Next thing I want to get into is Ridgeway's Pride and how to actually get that item. Now, I will be putting out a video tomorrow specifically going through all the steps you need to take. However, I wanted to go over a few specific things before you guys actually started to look for it. First of all, if you had any of these exotic components needed in your inventory before Title Update 11.1 came out, they should still be there. They were there for me. If for some reason they were taken from your inventory, please let me know below. The next question a lot of you are asking are, did they really increase the chance of getting these exotic components to drop? And from my experience, just from one day, the answer is definitely yes. I was able to get the 2 components I was missing on normal difficulty my first trip through the summit. And I mean, I'm comparing that directly to my farming experience for these items with Title Update 11. So there's definitely been an improvement. I was able to pick it up the first time, so that was a really nice surprise to actually have something happen that we said was going to. The next part has to do with where can you actually find the exotic components. First off, a shout out to one of our subs, Dust Demon. He clarified something where they are locked behind 20 floor increments in the summit. And I mean, simply put, that means the first one you can find on floors, 1 through 20. The second one is 20 through 40, 40 through 60, 60 through 80, and then 80 through 100. So each of those 5 pieces are designated to those 20 floor increments. Now, I sincerely hope that you have the same luck that I do in that, let's say if you're trying to get the piece on levels, between 20 and 40, by the time you get to 40, you have it, because unfortunately, if you don't, you have to complete the summit and then get back to that section to try to get it again. Now, I happen to hope in the future they're going to fix that, because a lot of people want to be able to just jump to a certain increment in a floor. Not only that, for me, it's the higher floors. When you have that threat scaling, that's when you have a better chance of getting really good loot. I mean, that has to do with the fact that you're actually facing named bosses on those higher floors. There's more elites, there's more things like that. And that's what really makes farming, in my opinion, worthwhile, is knowing that you're going to get certain targets. Finally, we want to talk about a few more things in regards to matchmaking, and not only that, progression and how it actually works. This is something I've tested, so I know that it actually is accurate when I'm telling it to you. First of all, it has to do with your personal progression. So let's say if you happen to be on floor 87 and you have a buddy who wants to play and you matchmake in his group and he's on floor 17. That does not affect your personal progression. So when you log back in, you will be able to start at floor 87. The next part has to do with matchmaking. Now, I personally have not had the best luck in the summit with that. However, yesterday I mentioned that I got dealt it out when I got to floor 100. After that took place, obviously I was a little bit upset, and so I tried to matchmake in a group, got into a group, and then I was dealt it out once again. So again, just 1-2 punch. Therefore, I waited a little while, had a drink, just relaxed, kind of, slowed down the blood pressure, went back and played again, tried matchmaking, and I was able to get into a group that was at floor, I think it was 45 or 46 when we started. Now, what was great is I knew at that point, that means, okay, good. From now on, my personal progress will be starting from floor 45, because once you join a group, wherever they are, that will then become your new starting point, as long as it's not lower than what your personal one may be at the time. And I mean, so for me, obviously 45 is higher than 1, so I was like, okay, cool, now I'm at 45. Now, one thing I want to say is, do not join a group and then bail on the group just to get that floor progression. Stay with the group, get to the checkpoint, don't mess up a team. That's just my PSA for, I don't know, just common courtesy, if you will. So anyway, so I was with the group. I stayed till floor, I think 50. And then after that, logged out and then tried to rejoin another group, joined another group that was at floor 70, stayed with them until floor 80, and then logged out so I could start my own progression again. And the reason I bring this up is many of you are still looking for those components that may be on floors between 60 and 80 and 80 and 100, and this could be a way for you to get to that level faster and not having to do every floor individually. And with that, my friends, I think I'm going to wrap up this video. There are still a ton of questions we want to answer for you, but again, I can't answer things that they haven't gotten back to us on or they haven't posted about. So hopefully between now and Monday, they'll actually respond to some of the issues we've all been talking about. As I said a moment ago, I'm going to be putting together a video showing you how to get Ridgeway's Pride. I'm going to have that to you guys tomorrow, and then I think what we'll wind up doing is, I want to put a build together with that chess piece soon because it's absolutely sick. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to use. As always, I want to finish up by saying thank you all so much for the continued support. You guys are amazing. Make sure if you have any questions or comments, you leave them below, and I do try to answer everything I can as quickly as possible. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We would love for you to be a part of what we're doing. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, but most importantly, take care, be kind, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.